Hi, everybody. My name is Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me? Is it okay? Can you hear me okay? I started one the other day and nobody could hear me, and I got like 20 people in here and like, hey, we can't hear what you're saying. Read the thing. Can you guys hear me? Can anybody hear me? Are you guys out there? Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Please respond. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Speak it in English. Can you hear me? Can you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Good. Thank you, Callie. All right. So anyways, I told you guys I try and do this like once a day or so, but I think we're trying to do it like a couple times a week. I don't know. We're figuring it out. And I told you I was going to do about like 420, but I wanted to get I wanted to get this video up about the Senate voting to end support of the war in Yemen, because that seems like a big thing to me. You know how all the time at the end of my videos I'm always saying one of these days this war is going to end. Well, you know, today actually feels like maybe there's a chance that one of these days this war will end. And I wanted to share that moment with you, but I wanted to post a video first where it said, you know, that the Senate voted to end support of the war in Yemen. Like, wow, wow, wow. That's not, now, I think it's probably all just theater because wait. Can you guys hear me? Are you still there, Callie? Someone's calling. Hello, caller.
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
I'm good. Who is this?
This is Todd.
Hey,
how are you?
Hey, Todd. Nice to hear from you, bro.
Yeah. So I just heard what you're talking about, and I heard there's a possibility that Trump will veto this. Did you hear anything about that?
No, but you know, if it's going to take any, it's going to take any support away from his, you know, $380 million sale of weapons to the Saudis. You know, I'm sure he's going to be like, yeah, well, you're not going to touch that. I get a lot of kickbacks out of that. You're not getting any of that. So, or was it 380 billion or 380 million? 380 must be 380 million. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you, it was quite a bit, but I was just reading an article that stated that he would possibly veto it, and I think that's a disgrace if he would do that. You know, these wars got to stop, and we shouldn't be backing a terrorist country that's you know, basically Israel and Saudi Arabia plotted on 9/11. You know.
You know, I mean, they say flat out that Saudi Arabia, that the people came from Saudi Arabia that did 9/11. So, you know, and flat out that that Saudi Arabia is giving weapons to ISIS, right? I mean, U.S. weapons are going straight from Saudi Arabia to the hands of ISIS, from what I'm hearing.
And why do you think they have all those brand new vehicles and ISIS driving around?
This is what I'm saying.
Get their hands on that.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I didn't know if you've heard about that article or not.
No, I hadn't seen that, but thanks a lot. That's important to know. You know, these people want to end I mean, they want to keep the war going forever. And Trump says, hey, you know, I'm an end the wars guy, but then he makes this big deal where, you know, we got to support Saudi Arabia in this war against the poorest nation on earth, you know.
Exactly. Right. And I supported what he said about Syria, and then he backtracked a little bit.
Yeah, it says I'm
Like,
pulling all the
uh,
troops out.
well,
It's like early Christmas present for all the families. The troops are coming home, and now we got to keep a little bit of troops there.
yeah, and I don't know if this has something to do with the shadow government or the globalists putting pressure on him or what, but
It has to do with
yeah,
Trump being spineless. He's not.
that is true.
He's not the man that he portrays himself to be. I mean, he
Well,
just wants to
that's the
like get
reason
everybody to
many people
cheer for
voted
him.
for him.
Yeah, of course. They gobble up this, this bravado. They love it.
Yeah, if he would have kept his word about Syria, I would have gave him major respect for that. But once again, all these politicians are all talk, no action.
Well, you know about Tulsi Gabbard, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because she went to Syria to find out what is actually going on. And CNN during this last town hall was like, well, why did you go to Saudi Arabia? And she's like, well, the Pentagon just lied us into a war in Iraq. Nobody ever says that. No politician ever says that. And it's like, so we can't really trust what the Pentagon says. So I went to find out for myself. That's pretty fucking ballsy, man.
She did the right thing on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's I don't think to me that's not all talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I have nothing for respect for her for that. And I'm sick and tired of the military industrial complex that America is just a bunch of imperialists, and we want that. It's ours. We're the world police. Enough's enough. I mean, we got to take care of our own people.
If we ever want to be great again, we're going to have to focus on America instead of all these other countries, man. Because we spend way too much money on all these other countries.
Oh, it's ridiculous. So, anyways, in regards to the topic, I think that would be a great thing.
Well, have you been a Mox News viewer for a while, Todd?
Oh, definitely.
Right on.
Yeah, a good for years, I believe.
Yeah. Well, whenever I do an on-camera video, I pretty much always end with one of these days this war is going to end. And I just thought that it seems like today we're just like one tiny little baby step closer to that with the Senate voting to end support for the war in Yemen. I thought that was pretty awesome.
And you know what? That's a better step today than it was yesterday. So
right on.
Even if it'll take a few more years, unfortunately, at least it's a step in the right direction.
It's a step it's a step in the right direction, and it's hopefully it won't be more generations like you're saying. There won't be a couple more years instead of a couple more generations. So where you calling from, Todd?
I'm calling from Ohio. Northeast Ohio.
What's the weather like there today?
You know what? It was actually about 60 degrees out.
Dang.
Yeah, very nice. But I guess we have some kind of, I don't know if it's going to hit Ohio or not, but there's some kind of big storm coming. Or
there's always a big storm coming, Todd.
Well, they called it, I was reading an article on CNN, and they said it was some kind of bomb cyclone.
Oh, that sounds a little scary.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, this weather's so unpredictable, but
the weather in Seattle's like the best in the world. It's so nice here.
Is it? What's the temperature right now?
Right now, it's probably about 65. It's all blue sky and sunshine.
Man,
we went took the dogs out for a walk earlier. They're just like, oh, it's so nice out. They're like, why are we not still walking?
I'm ready for it.
Right on. Well, it's good to hear from you, Todd. Thanks a bunch for calling. I really appreciate it, man.
And thank you for these videos and these talk shows. I think it'll be a really great thing for your channel and help interact more with the viewers. And
how many days a week you think is a good amount to do a live show?
Honestly, it'd be up to you, but I think a couple of days a week would definitely be quite positive.
Yeah, I think a couple days a week would work good. I was saying 5 days a week, but that seems like a little bit much. So we'll figure it out. All right.
Right.
Thanks again for calling, Todd. It's nice to hear from you.
Yep. Hey, you have a good one now.
Stay cool, bro.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right, let's see. Hello. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, that's the creator of Mox News, correct?
This is the creator. I am Mike, creator of Mox News. That is correct.
I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Because I am a conservative libertarian. Are you anti-Israel? Because it seems I watched some of your videos, and it seems in your titles, it seems as though you got something against the Israelis. What's your problem with them?
I don't like when people commit war crimes and then act like they shouldn't be held accountable for the war crimes, or to call them out on the war crimes is somehow to call out all Jewish people everywhere. I don't think that that's correct. I think the greatest act of anti-Semitism of the 21st century is for the government of Israel to attach their crimes against humanity to all Jews, by saying, by every time you try and call the Israeli government out on their crimes of drone striking kids playing soccer on the beach, or bombing women and children, or hospitals, or ambulances, they shout anti-Semitism. And by doing so, they take the crime, the war crime that they just committed it. They take the war.
Uninformed.
They take
you get your talking points from the media, and you don't read and research.
The media never talks about Israeli war crimes. The media never talks about Israeli war crimes. So I don't know what talking points you're talking about, but I've studied this for years. Okay, I've covered this for years.
Okay, because
I didn't say you did. I did not say you speak out of your ass. Did I?
How about you listen?
You don't seem to want to listen to me.
Oh, I heard what you said.
No, you didn't. You interrupted me in the middle of what I was saying.
Okay, continue with your long rant. Your rant of nothingness. Go ahead, finish.
See, you're the one calling names. You're the one attaching your whatever to negativity to what it is that somebody's saying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when the Israeli government attaches their heinous war crimes to all Jews by calling anyone who criticizes their war crimes committed by the Israeli government to anti-Semitism, that attaches their war crime to all Jews. So that's the greatest act of anti-Semitism of the 21st century, and it's being committed by the Israeli government.
Okay, now it's perfectly fine, in my personal opinion, to completely critique Netanyahu and the military action he has taken within the Middle East. But I find it so funny that we never talk about, well, not we, I know I do. I find it so funny. Are you on the left? Or what do you consider yourself as?
Those are labels that people use just to disregard someone. There isn't people on the left. There isn't people on the left, and there isn't people on the right. And if you buy into that, you're drinking gallons of Kool-Aid daily.
Okay, so I just wanted to say, I find it so funny that people on the left, I guess that's not you, but I find it so funny that you guys, you critique Israel, which I think is justified, don't get me wrong, but you never critique what the Palestinians do to Israelis as well. They equally go within the Israeli territory and bomb things.
Really?
Did you know that? And commit terrorist attacks.
The Palestinians equally go and drop 500-pound bombs on hospitals. Is that right? Repeatedly. Again, you just said equally. You just said equally.
There was a report. There was a report.
Didn't you just say
Okay?
equally? Did you just say equally or didn't you? You just said
did.
equally.
And it wasn't
And it's
too long
not
ago.
equal, is it?
Sir, it wasn't too long ago. A lady.
It's not
committed a
equal, is
mafia-
it? Is it equal?
I'm sorry?
It's not equal, is it?
Killing is killing, so that's equal to me.
No, it's not. When you drop a 500-pound bomb on a hospital, it's very different from some guy.
You're being disingenuous.
What's
You're
that?
being disingenuous.
Oh my God.
I'm just telling you. What I'm
You
trying to
don't
tell you,
care about the truth.
What I was telling you is I was reading a report, and a lady just not too long ago, she committed suicide, of course, but she blew herself up riding a school bus full of children in Israel.
Really, because I
Okay.
didn't see just recently where a school bus full of children got blowed up in Israel. Did anyone else happen to see that? Because I didn't see it. And I watch the fucking news 24/7.
I will post it for you. Okay? Oh, I know you do. This is why I'm saying you get your talking points from the media.
No fucking school bus filled with children just blew up in Israel. You are completely full of it.
How about this? You give me your email address and I will give you the link to the story.
You're completely full of it, dude. Whatever source it is you're listening to is nowhere to be found anywhere in the actual news.
Okay. So do you want the link, yes or no?
I don't need your link. If there was a school bus of children that had just blown up in Israel, everyone on Mox News would know about it. Has anyone heard about a school bus full of children blowing up in Israel? Anyone? Anyone?
You have a narrative, sir.
There is, it's
built up by
no,
CNN
you
and
have a
media.
fucking propaganda. My narrative is freedom for everyone.
Please, okay.
Yeah, please.
Then
See, you don't even believe in that.
Also champion the rights of the Israelis who also equally get killed by terrorist attacks in the Palestinians.
They don't.
When I see you do that, I'll believe it.
They don't. And you know that's not true.
Okay, and unicorns are real. Okay.
Yeah, and so is your fucking magic bus filled with children. It just got blown up.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Sorry, I don't mean to get so loud, but I'm like really like, rah, 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 rah. You know, I'm fighter guy. I'm not here to play games and listen to some make believe about a school bus that got blown up, filled with children that no one heard about. Right? Anybody hear about that? Chinese, lucky. All right, it's my birthday on March 19th. Anybody want to buy me lunch? Because that would be really nice. There's clickable links right below this video. Hello, darling. How are you today?
This is the Israeli government.
To the ICC now.
That is live.
To the ICC.
ICC?
Yes, immediately.
Yes, sir.
Who is this is? And that's how easy it is to deal with people. All these people, if you guys are afraid of like people in the comments that they're gonna get on you and like, you know, get the best of you, laugh. Remember to laugh. This is the Israeli government. Of course it is. All right. Now I was saying, get myself all worked up. See what you people do to me? All right. So I was saying that today it feels like we are like one step closer to, you know, as I say at the end of all my videos, one of these days this war is going to end. At the end of most of my videos, and with the Senate voting to end support of the war in Yemen, it felt like today we're like this one little tiny baby step closer. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's just like all show, you know, but it really felt like we were getting this one little baby step closer, and I wanted to take that moment and share it with you guys because you know that moment is really important to me to get closer to that day when the war is going to end. You know, because it's a war on all of us. Even if you don't personally feel it, you should know for sure it's a war on all of us. War is war. It takes from everybody indiscriminately. Well, brown people more, it seems like. Not that that's funny. Okay, so anyways, call-in show, and the call-in telephone number is like 805-669-6397. If anybody wants to call in, you know, that's not from the Israeli government. See, and this is what I'm worried about. If I do this too often, if I come out here and make these shows like every day, the people are going to be bored with it. So I want to do just a live call-in show, maybe like twice a week. I'm not sure what days. I'm thinking like Wednesday and Thursday, or Wednesday and Friday, something like that. You know, kind of like middle of the week and end of the week, and middle of the work week and end of the work week. You know, so we can be like, hey man, you got plans for the weekend? All right. Because that's always nice again to connect with you guys in that way. Because that's who I am, and I'm not just, you know, you can hear I ask, you know, where you're calling from, what's the weather like today, you know, because it's not just about the news. Guy wanted to talk about who's on the right, who's on the left, and that's just a load of crap that they use to divide us. Okay, and this right left thing isn't helping. It doesn't help at all, because you have to remember, above all else, what really important to remember is that the right and the left have worked together, have come together to bring us to where we are right now. Hello, caller.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you, sir. My name is Avidan. I'm staying in Islamabad, Pakistan.
You're calling from Pakistan?
Yeah, Islamabad.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, how are you doing?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thanks, bro.
So
What are you up to?
So they have that good hash in Pakistan that I've heard so much about?
Oh, yeah, you know it, bro.
What kind?
You know it very well. Well, we call it bubblegum, yeah. You know, bubblegum brothers, salam alaikum, da. But I'm living in exile here because I'm Jewish.
Oh,
So, yeah, you know it goes.
in Pakistan, huh?
Yeah, it's really hard, bro.
Hello?
I hear they have I hear they have a very large Jewish community in Israel, and I mean in Iran. I didn't know they had a large Jewish community in Pakistan. Do they have a large Jewish community in Pakistan?
No, it's not that large, but many of the people are getting the refugee status in India.
I can't hear you guys because of the audio. There you go.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
No, lines are crossing.
I think we got a second person on the line or something. Go ahead.
Okay, do you understand? I pay very high rates. So can I talk to you first, please? Yes, sir.
Very high rates of what?
I say I pay very high rates because I'm calling international. Is it okay if we finish up our chat first?
Yeah, man, go
Or you
ahead.
Take that call.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so what's your food, bro?
Doing this. I'm trying to ask you about what kind of hash they got in Pakistan, man. We all want to know.
Dude, we call it bubble gum. I don't know what the fucking names and shit are.
But you smoke that?
No, yeah. You know it goes.
Do they have like is that what the most people smoke in Pakistan is hash, or they smoke like buds, or they smoke tobacco, or what do they smoke there?
No, they call it cherries.
Cherub.
Cherries.
Huh. Cool.
In Pakistan. Yeah, the name of the hash is like the fucky word.
Nice.
Yeah.
You should try and get some. It sounds like you could.
Yeah.
It sounds like you could use some.
Why do you say that?
Well, you sound like you're worried about refugee status and all these things, and it'd be easier just to relax and like not worry so much for a minute.
No, you don't understand the plight of my people. We've been persecuted ever since the beginning of time.
You know, I don't want to hear about the beginning. See, this thing where like I carry around this persecution from the beginning of mankind. Fuck you. Yeah, I don't want to hear it. It's a load of bullshit. And you know, we're here now in the 21st century, and if you're carrying around the persecution of the last 5,000, 10,000 years, you need to get over it, dude.
It's actually 3,000 years.
Yeah,
But
whatever.
Listen to me, you fucking old hippie. You old motherfucker.
Oh, I carry the weight of history of mankind on my very soul. Can't you feel it? Can't you feel it? On my very soul. It's the weight of all persecution of all mankind. Yeah, I get it.
Look at yourself, you old bastard. Look at yourself in the mirror. Your dead fucking parents are turning in their graves. They're fucking burning in hell with Hitler. Fucking looking at you.
because why now? Because why? How I look? Is that right?
No, because you're a low life. You have no truth. You're leeching off the fucking state. That's what you're doing.
I get nothing from the state. I get nothing from the state.
Nobody calls you. I've been fucking around the entire night.
Yeah, good luck with that, okay? And again, this is how you handle a troll. It's just this meaningless person with no life who wants to fuck with somebody because they carry the persecution of all history of mankind on their shoulders. All history.
Bloody bastard.
Okay. So, again, this is a call-in show. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. And today, the Senate voted to end support of war in Yemen. And this is the telephone number. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello. Who is this?
Oh, hey, I remember me from last week.
Okay. What's your name?
Hey, remember me from last week, Daniel?
Daniel. Yeah, your parents are so proud, huh? Did you show them the video, Daniel?
What video?
The video of you from last week on YouTube that your parents would be so proud of.
Hey, how's it going there, sir?
Oh, hi. Okay, my parents are actually on the line right now. They're actually, I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to pass them the phone, okay?
Yeah, good luck with that, Daniel. All right, so I don't know what happened there, but that was weird, Daniel. Okay, anyways, it's 805 Mox News or 805-669-6397. 805-669-6397, okay? So, and we don't want to talk to Daniel because last week, which wasn't last week, it was like 2 weeks ago, Daniel, or 3 weeks ago, Daniel was quite rude. And I'm sure that his parents would very much like to see that video. Now, that being said, hello, caller.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I like your voice. It's cute.
Right on. Thanks very much. How are you today?
I'm okay. I'm a little bit sad because my boyfriend left me, but
Well, his loss, right?
not you. I mean, I guess, but like I'm kind of ugly. So.
Well, a girl has got to know her limitations. So I ain't exactly the belle of the ball either, babe girl.
Yeah, you just gotta have self-worth with in terms of like what you're doing in life, not what you look like. So yeah.
That sounds about right to me. I would have to agree with what she said.
But I've been getting bullied a lot because like my boyfriend was black and I'm actually Indian, and if you're dating him.
Yeah, he was a man.
Well, you gotta, women are attracted to the worst kind of guys, my experience.
Yeah, he has a really fat face.
That's the American way, baby.
Yeah, but like I'm not.
Hey, listen, you old fucking grey bastard. Why did Raj Patel dox you dumb son of a bitch? You
Anyways, so Yemen, the Senate voted to actually step up and act like they're supposed to, and they voted to end the war, not end the war, but end support, which again is just going to be all show and blah blah blah. Okay, so this better not be that tool. Yeah, I'm talking about you.
Hello, how are you doing? I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel.
Really?
Yeah, also I'm Orthodox Jewish, but I'm still a fan. I like the direction you're taking, you know?
What is it? What is it that you have you been viewing the channel a long time?
Yes, on and off I've been viewing the channel. I wanted to get your opinion on the Israel Jewish issue more clearly.
I think I've been pretty clear. Plus, I'd like to have a different caller because we keep getting the same caller, and it'd be nice to get a different caller because I know that, again, I'm doing this so I can connect with you guys, and the people who want to call and like get their 15 minutes of fame or whatever, like, hello, caller.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Who's this?
It's Time Retarded Chicks.
Hey, how's it going? Nice to hear from you.
What's going on? How come the Israeli Mossad is like harassing you?
You got to figure people don't like what not people in general, but certain people don't like what it is I have to say. Probably a lot of people don't like freedom. You know this.
Yeah, it's weird because they're like threatened by you, and I'm not threatened by. I'm Jewish. I'm not threatened by you at all.
I'm not anti-Jewish. People shouldn't be.
I know that.
I'm not real big on religion. I personally, I don't want to know what your religion is. It's way better for me if you come up to me. And you're shaking my hand and saying, hey, it's nice to meet you. My name's Hot Retarded Chicks. I'm not thinking, oh, this guy's Jewish. I mean, that's like the last thing from my head. I never think anything like that.
I thought you were Jewish.
I'm not Jewish. I don't have a religion, man.
I thought it's called Max News. Max is Jewish. It's a Yiddish word.
Oh, is it? What does it mean?
I don't know, like a smart ass or something.
It's a good name then, huh?
Yeah.
I picked a good name. I'm not Jewish. I don't claim any religion. I see all the organized religions as like being against God, basically. So and I don't like the whole tribal thing. I never liked, like, I always felt like people were very judgmental, in in those places of worship where they're supposed to be welcoming of everyone, and I'm not. I don't. I tend to act out when I think people are judging me. I'm like, I didn't want to judge me. I'll give you something to judge. You know. I don't know. It's just I've mentioned it before. I've always had trouble with this keeping this smart ass thing under control. You know, I'm not. It's not. From the time they sent me, like from kindergarten. You know, my first day of kindergarten, I got sent home with a note that said my mom has to meet with the principal, or they're not letting me back in school. You know. So.
Bad boy.
Yeah. They're like, you got to get him under control or he's going to a special school. Like,
he has opinions.
He is going to, we are not going to let him poison all the other children. Until I find YouTube.
About, you can criticize Israel and not be anti-Semitic. I think people who say that you can't criticize Israel are just assholes. They're stupid.
Are you really Jewish?
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you then about this theory that I have where the greatest act of, or the worst act of anti-Semitism of the 21st century is the Israeli government trying to attach all of their heinous war crimes to all Jewish people everywhere around the world by when you say something negative about their war crimes that they continue to commit over and over again, that they say, oh, that's anti-Semitism. Do you agree that that's an act that itself, attaching that to all Jews, is an act of anti-Semitism?
Well, I don't know if the Israeli government does that deliberately, but I think the media makes it seem like that. I think that is anti-Semitic to say that. If you criticize Israelis for committing war crimes, every country commits war crimes.
Right. No, I speak out against the U.S. all the time, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, if am I anti-American if I criticize the United States for committing a war crime? I mean, that's ridiculous.
I think that's one of the most patriotic things you can possibly do. That's what the founding fathers wanted you to do. They wanted you not only to have that ability, but to use it.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So, and that's why, I don't try and, judge what people want to do with their First Amendment, I mean, whether it be religious or be trollish, if that's who you're going to choose to be, with your time, that's your choice that you're making, and I think that there's this perfection to freedom of speech, which is that, when you put stuff out there, it's out there and people are going to attach that to you. They're going to say, oh, this person, and try and hold you accountable. Like people you see all the time, they come at me and they say, oh, Jews this, Jews that. And I say, I'm not talking about Jews. When did you hear me talking about Jews?
No, I would know that. I watch you all the time.
Yeah, I know you do. You're always around. I miss you when you're not here. It's always nicer when you're here.
For a long time. I've been watching for like 5-6 years.
I've always said that it's always nicer when hot, retarded chicks are here.
Oh, I appreciate that.
All right. Well, where are you calling from?
Chicago.
Chicago. Oh, man.
Yeah.
What is that like today?
It's crappy weather. It's like raining, snowing, sleeting. It just won't stop.
Well,
I got a cold too.
Well, they got spring in the air here, so I'm getting all this kind of pollen-y thing going on. But do they have the legalized marijuana there?
No. They keep talking about it, but I think they're just waiting for all the other states to do it.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it is.
Well, but you don't have any trouble getting weed, right?
No, I don't like the hassle. I'd rather be able to just go in a store and buy it, tell you the truth.
Well, and the thing about going in the store too is like going to the candy store when you're a kid, man. It's like there, you go from 2 choices of weed to like 57 different strains from 100 different providers, and you're like going, have you ever seen?
Once in a while, I'll drive out to Colorado and buy some.
Really? You drive all the way to Colorado, huh? How long does that
Worth it,
take?
You know, I don't like being hassled. You know, I just don't like being hassled. You know, sometimes you give people money and they don't get it to you.
No, I hear you.
You're around.
The black market's horrible, man.
It is.
And some places it's much worse than others.
Yeah.
Are you? How long does it take you to drive to Colorado?
I think it's like 17 hours.
Huh.
To Denver.
Well, that sounds like a fun road trip.
Yeah. I go out there and I stay a couple of days. You know, smoke a little oil. Come back.
Right on. Well, when you decide to drive to Seattle, let me know.
Okay, I will.
I got a dozen cookies with your name on them.
Awesome.
All right. It's
Hey,
nice
buddy.
to hear from you, man.
Okay, you too.
Thanks for calling.
Sure.
And Hot Retarded Chicks is a regular viewer, and it's always good to hear from those guys because, you know, otherwise you got these little punk asses that are like, you know, I'm special, listen to me. So anyways, I was saying about, I should ask Retarded Chicks about the war in Yemen thing, but it seems like this is just a real positive step in the right direction, and I want to take a moment to share that moment with you, that we kind of had a step towards end of war, you know, little baby step. Hello, caller.
Hey, Mike, this is Jackie Cat 67. Happy almost birthday.
Hey, thanks. That's very nice of you.
Well, you do have quite the troll collection tonight, don't you, sweetheart?
Mox News has always had quite a troll collection. There's a lot of trolls on the YouTube, you know.
I do. I am familiar with that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention, I just hit your PayPal to buy you a little birthday lunch.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you very much.
And I'd just like to put it out there for the avid fans that, you know, it's a nice thing to do, guys. It only takes a second.
It should happen pretty quickly. There's clickable links right below the video. All the videos are clickable links right below. Or you can go to moxnews.com. And it, you know, that's the thing about all, you know, about Valentine's Day and all these things where, you know, when you have like people that you like or whatever, you get to share something, you give something to them, and it makes you feel good. A lot of times, I bet it makes you feel better than the people that you're giving stuff to.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I always like buying you lunch anyway, honey.
Well,
you know, I appreciate what you do. And, you know, as far as your comment about, isn't it awfully anti-Semitic to say that it's anti-Semitic to criticize in any way the government of any country, really. But, yeah, I agree with you. I think you're right. And it has nothing to do with criticizing lots of lovely Jewish people I know. They're all fine and lovely and probably wouldn't really like the idea that we're, you know, blowing up buses full of children.
Yeah, I did not see that video. Did you hear that? Did you hear a story about blowing up a bus full of children?
No.
Yeah, no.
I only
Okay.
heard you mention it. But
yeah.
I know lots of lovely Jewish people down here in Florida where I live.
Right on.
And I'm pretty sure if you ask, most of them would not be in favor of blowing up buses of anybody's children.
You know, and that's the thing. That's
to do with being Jewish or anything like that.
And that's why we have to hold people accountable who do things like that, so that people know that they can't do that and then go and do it again some other time. Because the people who come after these horrible people who do that are going to go, hey, they did it before. Just like with Obama, people are like, oh, you can't talk bad about Obama. Obama, you know, drone strike wedding parties on a regular basis. You know, you can't just let that go because you like the way he talks better than the way Trump talks. You know? Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
It's funny you mentioned Obama. I had just seen Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 11/9.
Yeah.
And I think the worst part of the movie actually was when Obama stood in front of a crowd of Flint, Michigan folks and drank tap water. Well, he didn't really drink it. He just kind of put it in his mouth, and like maybe a molecule might have gotten in his mouth before he spat it out. But it was just so wow. That was just really egregious.
Yeah. It's
really bad.
Really
bad.
We
It
really
was an interesting movie.
we really have to focus on this country and take care of our own and stop wasting all of our treasure and really start thinking about what we want for our children for the 21st century. Not that I have any children. I have no children, but you know,
me either. But I don't think it's great that we should have our children in this country being lead poisoned by crappy infrastructure and ridiculous business ideas, and doesn't make any sense.
And how many more generations are we going to allow that to happen before we say enough is enough? You know, I mean, because we all know that it's happening, and yet they do these baby steps and like little Band-Aid repair jobs to say, oh, see, we care.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, and I always love it when you say one of these days this war is going to end. So when I saw the title of your live stream, I had to call you and buy you lunch.
Thank you.
It brightened my day, regardless of the trolls, which whatever.
Well, but that was the thing. Like I'm saying, today, they voted to end. They haven't done anything like that. From what I remember, voting to end support of a war. These guys are like, never saw a war we didn't like. And all of a sudden they're voting to end support of it. And I thought, well, that's a big change. I should make sure and try and share this moment with everybody, because it'd be nice if we're starting to head in that direction a little bit.
Love you for that, man. How's the garden going?
I don't have a garden right now, but I'm thinking, there's so much blue sky outside right now that and my girl dog doesn't like THC, and I have a bunch of CBD seeds. So I'm thinking I'm going to go start a CBD garden out in the backyard for the girl, and then hopefully we'll get something going in the tent here. I have trouble. I'm trying to decide what to do with the tent. I can't use the tent in this space. It drives me crazy because there's bugs and there's like this constant noise. Do you know the movie Eraserhead? Have you ever seen that movie?
I sure do.
Yeah. So having this tent going in this space makes me feel like I have the soundtrack from Eraserhead. That industrial noise that was just always droning in the background of that movie. It's like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't do this. So I'm trying to figure.
Remember, Mike, in heaven, everything is fine.
In heaven, I'm pretty good here, honestly. I'm not worried about heaven. Heaven will take care of itself, But I'm sure you're probably right about that.
All right, sweetheart. You have a good night.
All right, it's super nice.
Call the man. Buy him lunch.
Thanks so much for lunch. I really appreciate it. I do.
My pleasure.
All right.
My pleasure, sweetie. Okay, bye-bye.
Nice to hear from you. And that's the long time viewers are just, I mean, we may not see eye to eye on everything, but you guys are great viewers. The long time viewers know I'm fighting the good fight against juggernauts to try and do the right thing by everyone except for the juggernauts and the Israeli government, which I'm trying to do the right thing by the Israeli government, by the U.S. government, by trying to hold the people accountable, because the evil people must be held accountable. That way, all the people around the world go, oh, Americans are so horrible, because that being said around the world, exactly because of people like Obama and people like George W. Bush. And that's why if we hold them accountable, then people will be like, yeah, Americans are fucking awesome, because we don't let the war criminals get away with the war crimes done in our name with our tax dollars based on lies that came straight from their mouths. You know what I'm saying? So who's going to buy me birthday lunch next? It's my birthday on March 19th. But we are well within the birthday zone, so we're clear. So if you'd like to buy me lunch, there's a clickable link beneath the video here, or you can go to moxnews.com. It just takes a second, and it really makes a difference in my world, because when I do this for days on end, and I don't see anyone giving anything back, it hurts. It's not that I'm not doing a great job. It's not that the videos aren't getting watched. It's not that. It's just like nobody is thinking about how much work I put into it or whatever. It's like, oh, look, there's another video. Go on to the next video. Go on to the next video. I have like 9,100 videos on this one Mox News YouTube page. I started off saying, oh, there's 6,000 videos on this Mox News YouTube page, or 5,500 or whatever it was. There's 9,100 videos plus on this YouTube page. I want to see any of you guys do that. and every step of the way has been a fight. So I just, and I've told you again and again that I will do this. I will do this forever, as long as I have the support of this community. As long as I have the support of the community that I serve, I will continue to do this to infinity and beyond. But I can only do it with the support of the community that I serve. Otherwise, battling juggernauts, I take a punch, a punch, and I might go down hard. And if I don't have the support of the community rallying behind me to say, no, we got your back, buddy, get back up there, I might not be able to get back up there. And that's my biggest fear, is that somebody will try and take me down for some ridiculous bullshit, just like always, and I'll lose all of you, and I'll lose the 9,100 videos, and I won't have the support that I need, just the basic support of the people that I serve every single day, day in, day out, making sure that important things, like that the Senate just voted to end support of the war in Yemen. I looked on the news. I didn't see that on the news. I looked on the mainstream media. I was like, oh, let's see if we can find a story of that on the mainstream media. Nope. I wonder why that's not bigger news, that the mainstream media doesn't want to cover that the Senate voted to end support of the war in Yemen. To me, that's giant news. It's like I was saying, I haven't seen Congress stand up to do something like that in a long time. So it's really nice to see. Anyways, if anybody wants to call, the telephone number is 805-MOX-NEWS or 805-669-6397. 805-663-6397. I thought that I'd take this moment to share with you, because of the end of the war, or the Senate, manning up and saying no more. This is our responsibility to declare war, and we're in all these willy-nilly wars all over the place. I don't know why they're not doing this with Syria. I don't know why they're not doing it. It needs to be done with all the wars. All the troops need to come home. We don't need to be all over Africa, all over the Middle East. We just don't need that anymore. We don't even need to be all over the Western Pacific, or Eastern Pacific, or whatever it is. I don't think. I just don't see the need. It's like we're over there to provoke certain entities and keep them in check, and what maybe, and then whine about how much it cost us to make sure everything's safe everywhere. It's anyways. Wilco, no, I don't keep it up. What? Hey, Wilco works hard. Trust me. And he raises a family. Good family. Healthy family. Anyways, if nobody's going to call, 805-MOX-NEWS, 805-669-6397. so weird, you know. People, you hear that one guy who called and he's like, "Oh, look at the way you look." You know, why are you threatened by the way I look? You know, why, you know, if you have a problem with the way I look, then you have a problem with God, because God designed the way I look. God said, "Hey, you know what? Men should have long beards." And lo and behold, I have a long beard. God designed the way I look. God said,
Hey there.
"Hey, how's it going, man?"
All right, how are you?
I'm good. Who's this?
This is Wilco.
Wilco! Oh man, it's nice to hear from you, bro.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm good. It's a beautiful day. How's things where you are?
It's like the first beautiful day in a long time, and it's going to be nicer for the next few days, for the next week. It's been raining here forever, so and cold. So we're cold for
wow.
this area. So
well, it's a beautiful day here too. I'm glad we're sharing that. Are you
yeah.
Are you thinking about planting, or you're over that now that California has legalized?
Planting which, my veggie garden or my indoor garden?
Oh, well, I'm sure you're going to plant your veggie garden.
Well, that's the one that always kind of gets neglected a little bit. But yeah, it's time. I really actually need to clean out the garden a lot and get some stuff planted. I got a bunch of volunteers coming up though. I got stuff I didn't even plant but let go to seed that's just popping up everywhere. It's kind of neat.
Oh, cool. Fun.
Yeah.
How's the dogs?
My dog's good. He was just turned 9 the other day, so
just turned 9. You know, I just took the dogs. I just took my dogs for a walk. They're like going to be 10 and a half like next month, and they just pull. They just pull the whole way. We walk for like an hour, right? And they just pull the whole way. And you know, people be like, "Oh, who's leading who?" You know, I'm like one of these days they're not going to be able to pull anymore, and I don't want to take that away from them. You know. That's a kind of a happy thing that they're still able to do that.
Yeah.
That's the kind, you know, they got that sense of adventure where they're like, "Hey, we got to go see what's around this next corner, man." That's the main thing I'm trying to keep going with them.
Heck yeah, that'll last a long time. They might slow down, but they'll still be excited. So.
Yeah. So how's the bike?
It's pretty good. Yeah, I was happy to ride today. So. Because it's dry and it's warm, so
yeah, nice,
pretty nice. Yeah, looking forward to some more of that.
I bet you are.
Terribly rainy.
I bet you are. Well, so
one of these days,
go ahead.
One of these days, these wars are going to end, right?
It has to, doesn't it?
I hope so. It sort of looks like it's not, but I sure want it to.
You think guys were saying that 1,000 years ago?
Probably. and have we ever not been at war in 1,000 years?
I don't see a time when there was some kind of utopia civilization going on.
You know, people just learn to let other people live and stop trying to make everybody the way you are. You know, accept others for the way they are. If you want to worship this way or that way or whatever, to each their own.
Yeah.
Mind your own business.
Yeah, man. You got your favorite flying spaghetti monster. You go there, man. Good for you. You know.
Cool, man.
I just want to worship the goddess, baby.
That's right. As long as your flying spaghetti monster doesn't think that that money should be stolen from people to kill children.
Yeah.
On the other side of the planet, and then have people claim that it's because we don't like someone's flying spaghetti monster. I don't care who you worship or how you worship, man.
Yeah, that's
what killing kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's like when I meet somebody, the last thing I think is, oh, this guy's a whatever religion, blah blah blah. You know, I never think anything like that. I just really don't care, and I'm hoping that I don't find out, because because once I find out, it's like, you know, why does this guy have to wear his religion on his sleeve like that? You know what I mean? I don't need to know this shit. It's almost like you're trying to push it on me. No, I'm not going to accept Jesus. You know,
it's not almost like it. That's what they are. When people wear it on their sleeve, they're hoping to, you know, they think it's their job or something to get you to wear their jersey on Sunday so that you can root for the same team.
It does seem like that. It does seem like a team kind of thing. And
with everything.
Yeah, I've never been really good. I've never been like it's not that I'm not a team player so much as that I'm just not, I'm not competition oriented. I don't want to compete with anybody, you know?
You're probably not against someone else's team either. Like if you want to have your own team, great. Have fun.
Yeah. Good for you, man. Awesome. Go to it. I'm just not, I you know, when I was a kid and they would play organized sports and stuff, I would see people and they would like be so aggressive. Like they would almost like be trying to hurt the other person in order to win, you know? And for me, I don't get that. I don't want to be that. I don't want that inside of me. So, you know, I guess it's important to have those people, but I'm afraid those are the people that wind up being politicians and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I don't think it's important to have those people, to be honest with you. I don't know what they, you know, I don't know what, because we don't need politicians. People want to say, we need a strong leader. Really? Aren't you adults? Think yourself, man.
Yeah.
Like you need people taking your money to tell you what to do.
We need a strong leader that's going to fight for our freedom. That's what we need. You know?
We need no leaders taking away our freedom because they don't fight for our freedoms. They put words on paper to take them away, and then small-minded people cheer them on and cry for more.
I don't think it's that they're that small-minded. I think that they've just got them broken down into these groups where they're like, you know, oh, you know, this guy may not be totally on my side, but at least he's not one of them. You know what I mean?
Conditioning, yeah. I get that a lot because, you know, people don't quite understand where I am on the political spectrum. So,
which you would think people would respect that more, right?
No, absolutely not. They don't get it because you know, I'm probably a lot more I'm an anarchist, maybe more conservative leaning, but I understand that Donald Trump is America's next top president. He was a reality TV star and he's a puppet, you know. So I don't get up. People want to say, "Oh, at least he's doing this or that." I missed your show the other day, and I think you were talking about you know, the economy, and are you feeling it in your wallet?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah.
I'm broker every day.
Yeah.
So
I don't see the average man feeling. I see when I go to the grocery store, I see people with small amounts of groceries, and that's not I got money burning a hole in my wallet.
The cost of living is going up far faster than, or inflation is happening far faster than people's cost of living increases, if you even get one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so, that's hard to come by for sure.
We haven't got one in a few years, but that hasn't stopped the price of everything going up.
Yeah.
Which means at the end of the day, I have less money, you know, to buy the things that I need to buy. So you have to cut corners, and you know, like you were saying, a couple shows ago about having to put groceries back because you were short.
Yeah, it wasn't really my fault. The cashier was stupid, but yeah, that's such a horrible thing to be like that. You know, I mean, there's no reason why the average man should have to live in that way. You know?
No, but at the same time, I don't. You probably know this about me. I'm not. I think that Bernie said some good stuff, but when it comes down to it, free stuff, free shit, it's got to be taken from somebody else. And I know that it sounds good to steal it from the super rich, you know, multiple billionaires or millionaires or wherever you want to draw the line. But that's not really, you know, that's not morally right because it's still stealing. You could take it from these people and maybe they don't deserve it. They undoubtedly didn't earn it. They didn't work for it. but stealing it to give it to somebody else, it's still stealing and it's still wrong. So when it comes down to it, you know, and I'm not against, like, if we're going to have some government and we're going to have some sort of social safety net and welfare, I don't have a problem with helping out Americans. I really don't. Like, people have it tough, and sometimes people need some help, and you know, life's a bitch. So I don't have a problem if you're going to take my taxes, you know, fix the bridges and roads and dams and take care of our people here. Don't give it to don't rebuild bridges and schools and hospitals that you took money from me to blow up.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, and I know that there's a bunch of trolls that are saying that, you know, you must be anti-Semitic if you say anything about, you know, the 70-year-old elephant in the region who has been at war every minute since they, you know, became a country.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of being their attack dog.
Yeah.
And money being stolen for us and kids being killed in our name. You know, we're not bad people in this country, but our leaders do some seriously bad stuff, and it's not in any way benefiting our country.
Yeah, that's and that's the reason that I'm not for this side or that side. I'm for holding them all accountable, you know. And the only reason that I continue to talk about Tulsi Gabbard is because she doesn't seem like that, you know. She doesn't seem like she's promising everybody the moon and the stars in order to get their vote. She's talking almost pure foreign policy and a little bit of like, we got to end the drug war, you know, which is just another war that's being committed inside our fucking, you know, country's borders.
So the blue ISIS can steal money from people.
Yeah.
So, and Tulsi says some great stuff. You know, I've been on your channel for, you know, over a decade now. So you've put the information up, the old Ron Paul rallies and stuff. And, and well, you know, she reminds me a lot of Ron Paul.
Yeah.
But I've been watching this so long, and I guess I'm a little bit cynical. I know that you don't get to the two top players without being chosen. And so I don't know if she's like is legit and everything that she's saying is great. I hope it is, but you know how I feel about that with some of her associations and so I have trouble believing that she's like this needle in a haystack, or something good in the midst of that swamp.
No, and I think honestly that it's probably really a positive thing not to take any of these people, you know, at their face value, because we've been sold down the river by so many of them, you know, that you have to look at them like, hey, I don't trust you as far as I could throw you. But it's like with Obama, you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, everybody was like, oh, this guy's gonna save America.
Well, yeah, and that's another thing. Like I've been with you, I've been watching this stuff for a long time. So he said some great stuff.
Yeah. No, everybody, the whole fucking world rallied around Obama.
Right.
The whole fucking world.
What happened? He wanted transparency in government. He wanted to end foreign wars, and he wanted to close Gitmo.
And he was going to fight for the public option.
Well, what did he do? What did he do? His first executive order was sealing presidential records, and then in the first quarter of the first year, he, rather than closing Gitmo, he built a fucking brick and mortar prison.
Yeah,
you know, and he expanded the wars. He drone striked 11 times more wedding parties than George W. Bush.
Yeah,
you know, the war criminal. And Cindy Sheehan disappeared as soon as Barack Obama became president, because all of a sudden we don't need to protest war because we've got a Democrat.
Cindy Sheehan did not disappear. the people that were covering Cindy Sheehan stopped covering her because we no longer need to speak out against people that we actually, because the mainstream media was on Barack Obama's side. They didn't want to make him out to be the villain that George Bush was. Cindy Sheehan did not disappear. I have a couple of interviews with Cindy Sheehan where she's talking out against Obama, saying that he's just as bad as George W. Bush or worse.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, so that I missed it.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to add something here. I saw in the comments, or I just looked over here. There's a delay on this, so I looked over at the comments and I saw that Dwayne Jane, who's a pretty cool human, I think, had donated to you a while back.
Yeah.
Actually has some pretty good stuff to say. I just wanted to mention that they made a comment that Blue ISIS would never steal from law-abiding citizens. So I want to say that, one, that's really not true, and two, what's law-abiding? And what laws are we following? Opinions of a ruling class that are put on paper and then enforced at the barrel of a gun. If those are laws,
yeah,
then I'm not a law-abiding citizen. I'm an outlaw. I've been an outlaw my whole life. I've smoked marijuana for 35 years, so I'm okay with that. Yeah. But yeah, that's a law-abiding citizen, man. Like,
yeah, that's my my issue too. Is that I think part of the way that I got to this place is that my whole adult life, this government has been at war with me.
Yes, sir.
My whole life, they've told me that somehow I am aiding and abetting the terrorists because I choose to use the safest alternative to the garbage that's out there that will just make you, turn your brain to Swiss cheese.
Yes, sir. And man, they give those pills out like it's like there's no tomorrow. There's a pill for everything, and none of them work.
Ibuprofen helps me a lot sometimes.
You know what? I do take ibuprofen. Yeah. So I'm there with you.
But I
take it.
Yeah, I take it as sparingly as possible. But sometimes I'm just like, I gotta get some. It's not that I'm like not kick down some cannabis on top of it, but. But I need a little extra in there, it helps at this moment. So, but other than that, and I also take Sudafed. But other than that, that's all I ever take is Sudafed, ibuprofen, and cannabis. Yeah.
So when I said the pills, I'm more talking about like big pharma and every chemical that they come up with. If they put advertisements on the TV with all these crazy, the side effects are worse than what you're trying to cure.
Oh my God. You hear that stuff they say, and I think, God, who in hell would that sounds good to me. I need to try that.
Yeah. It's like, hey, doc, and they don't even tell you what some of these things are. They just say, ask your doctor if this is right for you. They don't even tell you what it's for. So, like, you could go to the doc and say, hey, doc, I heard about this new drug. Is that right for me?
Yeah.
And Bill says, well, if you think it is, sure, here you go.
Yeah, it's like a placebo effect kind of thing where they say, oh, no, this is the greatest pill ever. And people are like, hey, maybe that will work for me too.
Hey, you keep talking. I got to take a bomb now,
okay? All right, you go there, General. Okay, so Wilco every month kicks down for a pizza, and then a couple of days ago on one of the live shows, he's like, "Happy birthday, bro," and kicked down for a second pizza. So Wilco is the man, and if you guys want, it's my birthday. So, or at least it's my birthday on March 19th. So we are well within the birthday zone. And if you'd like to kick down for a pizza or buy me lunch, there is a clickable link below this video. Or you can go to moxnews.com, and it just takes a minute to do it. And it makes it really brightens my day, like more than I can say. It's just like, it's like.
And y'all need to know.
Go ahead,
Mark. Need to know, like I don't know if everybody caught this, but you mentioned something else recently that people I'll see in the comments say that you don't do anything. Like what you're doing is like instant, and it doesn't take time, and that you should do this and that, and you should monetize it. Well, first of all, even if you could, we don't want to see ads. So we're glad that there's not ads there. But people say that you don't do anything, and you mentioned that you get up, you have sometimes set your alarm for 5:30 in the morning to get up so that you can capture some C-SPAN stuff for the C-SPAN junkies out there. And
it's not for the C-SPAN junkies. It's for the people who care about war, or the people who care about Bernie Sanders, or the people who care about this or that. You know, these are little bits of history that I'm uploading. Go ahead.
And it's seriously, that's a great point. It's history, because a lot of times you catch stuff that people say in a somewhat live segment.
Yeah.
That's disappeared. If we go to search for that stuff later, a lot of times it's pretty difficult to find.
Yeah.
And you're archiving history, and you're catching what, you do a really good job of finding stories that we the people are interested in, so that we don't have to, get sucked into the 24-hour, CNN news cycle and all of their mumbo jumbo. And because it can kind of be, I mean, it's like a drug.
It's not good for you either. It's not good. It's actually detrimental to your happiness. It's detrimental to your psyche. It's especially when you have like these people that were supposed to like be respecting, it's like I keep seeing these journalists, mostly women probably, but it's like, oh, I remember when I used to like her, or I used to think that she was good, and you want to like these people. You want to like the members of Congress. You want to feel like, oh, that person's on our side and they're actually fighting for us. But you just come to the realization that they're all just lying to you, and it's this constant bombardment, never ending, and trying to mind fuck you in 1,000 different directions, from whether it's the left or the right. It's just, and we're supposed to respect these people. These are the people we're supposed to turn to when we need to know what it is that's happening in the world. And yeah, and they're just full of shit, and it doesn't matter whether it's the left or the right. They're just full of shit.
Well, how about this? It's worse than they're full of shit, man. Project Mockingbird. They're not full of shit.
Right.
They're deliberately misleading the people.
It's not. Go ahead.
With methods that they know work.
Right.
That they know can change people's minds and change their actions.
Go ahead.
Using the words that they use, how they say it, the faith, but images maybe even. I mean, we all know about in the old days with at the movie theater where they flash up subliminal images.
Yeah.
And the old sign off. I don't know if you ever caught Melissa Melton and I can't remember what their channel's called now, but they put up a thing that showed the sign off from like the early 60s or late 50s.
Yeah.
Where they play the national anthem and have flags.
Yeah.
And stuff. And there was like they see words that were implanted in there that you can't see unless you slow it way down or whatever.
Cool.
And that didn't seem to be like it wasn't. I don't think it at the time. I checked because it sounded like what, and it didn't. It seemed like it was legit.
Yeah.
So yeah, Operation Mockingbird, man. I mean, Anderson Cooper. He interned with the CIA in the summer after his freshman year, his sophomore year, his junior year, and then after his senior year, he just decided to go to like some crazy war-torn places and then end up being a journalist. He's got to be working for the company.
There's and you see all these people on the CNN and on the Fox and on the MSNBC, and it says ex-CIA, analyst, ex-CIA. There's no ex-CIA. That's not a real thing. They're CIA, and they're getting. I guarantee those guys are getting a CIA paycheck.
Oh yeah.
And they're there shaping the conversation. It's like he's saying, Operation Mockingbird. This is why I keep saying it's a huge mistake to call it fake news, because fake news is like what Jon Stewart does.
Right. No. Hey, to me, this is a big point. Fake news. Okay. So prior to America's Next Top President, a attacking the one CNN dude and calling him fake news. He co-opted that, dude. Truthers were calling shit fake when it was fake. When you saw, like, going back to the Scud attack or whatever it was in that was supposed to be in Saudi Arabia back in the first Gulf War, and those dudes were on the roof of CNN with the green screen.
Right. Yeah.
So like I lost my train of thought. Where was I going with this?
The Operation Mockingbird.
So, fake news. So we were pointing stuff like that out, and where you can see two CNN reporters that are in the same parking lot pretending to be on opposite ends of the country. That was fake news when they're giving us. That's real fake news, and we were saying that, and it was legit.
Right.
And so then America's next top president, who supposedly was supposedly elected, and all the votes were counted before 9 o'clock Pacific, and we all knew he was the winner. So he comes out there and he starts saying fake news, which what that did, it was basically the same thing as attaching conspiracy theory to something. It makes it less valid, it gives it a bad connotation. So now anything that a truther might say that's fake news that really is fake news, they think, oh, well, you're a Donald Trump supporter, or think that it's that fake news, that just the idea that sure, it's all kind of scripted and it is fake, but the fact that he makes the big deal about it, the way that he's done it, and not like claiming that it's when because Fox isn't any different,
Well,
they all get their same message off of the AP or Reuters.
Yeah,
and they all repeat it just with a different flavor.
Yeah, right. Well, they're talking to their left audience or their right audience, whatever,
And they play both sides. They all tell the same stories.
Yeah.
They tell exactly what they're told to tell.
Right. No, they're just speaking to different audiences. And it comes straight from the Pentagon and the White House. And that's what my favorite thing about Tulsi Gabbard was, during that CNN town hall where Dana Bash is all up in her face and she's talking about Syria and like, oh, well, if you got information about this or that from the Pentagon, and she's like, the Pentagon just lied us into war in Iraq, and nobody says that, and it's like, and she was, and you could tell Dana Bash, and that's what the media's job is to be explaining that to the people that are seeking knowledge, trying to understand what's going on, is that the Pentagon's lying about this, the DNC is lying about Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton and leaked, stolen emails, and but they don't do that, but they don't do it on purpose. They don't do it by accident. They don't do it because they're like fake news and they're just missing out on the story. They do it because they want to direct the narrative. They want you talking about it in this way.
It's programming, dude.
Yeah, and
television. They don't even lie about it, dude. They call it television programming.
Programming, exactly. They call it programming for a reason. That's what I've always said. Yeah.
Yep. So don't think that, and you get that a lot, or over the years you've gotten that a lot, where people are like, oh, you're a this supporter, you're a that. They're always so off base, they don't have, I don't know if they just don't listen at all, or if they're new or whatever. Because to me, it's not through all of the last elections, it's been obvious where you stand, and you stand for freedom.
Yeah, I'm about freedom. But you say I don't know if they're they say you're this supporter or that supporter, and I don't know where they get this. It's because they're desperately looking to label someone. They need to attach a label to it in order to be able to understand it and put it in the right group or the right category. Otherwise, then it doesn't make sense to them, and they're just like, oh, I don't get this. This makes me feel weird. I can't watch this or whatever. They can attach a label to it, and they go, okay, now I understand this guy's a lefty or that guy's a righty or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's how they understand things. So
why does everything have to be a false dichotomy? Like you're Christian or you're Jewish.
Because all they know is all they know. It's all they know. It's like it's not just that. It's because people want to desperately belong to a group. People want to be part of something. They don't want to be just out on their own, not like, oh, I have all this backing from all these people. They want to be like, they want to be, oh, I understand my place because I'm part of this organization. I'm one of these guys, I'm one of the good ones,
I guess it makes it easier, and then they don't really have to actually to take the time to pay attention, and to like, and when if something sounds like it's not true, you probably need to look further into it, and that's like Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes, every once in a while, so Alex would tell a lot of things that are, he's just reading other stories and it's legit shit, right?
Yeah.
But then every once in a while, Alex does something that's just a little crazy, right? and you go look it up. There's some truth to it, probably, but Alex is putting his Alex spin on it, so that anybody that's like really looking for the truth, and maybe talking to their friends and family about that, then they can say, oh, well, you're probably an Alex Jones listener, right? Like he gets this big chance and goes on primetime TV on CNN and acts like a fool.
Yeah.
Right? Makes everybody that's pro Second Amendment look like a bunch of raving lunatics.
Right.
And it's like, what is that? That was my biggest clue that, man, Alex is controlled at least.
No, dude, he gets like all this he gets all these truthers, right? He gets all the people that are thinking about truth, about 9/11 inside job stuff, looking at him and kind of like almost like, if you were looking from the outside, people will be like, oh, Alex Jones is, one of the main organizers of the 9/11 truth movement. And then he goes, and so he gets held up like a pillar of that community. And then he goes and puts like Joker makeup on and goes crazy on camera for the whole world to see that all the people that are 9/11 people are crazy. Look at Alex Jones, fuck you guy. I mean, and then he's like, buy my boner pill. I mean, he's like
wash it down with some tangy tangerine.
He does it exactly. He does it like exactly with I mean, not exactly, but he's got this own style of like, be afraid, be afraid, be afraid. Oh, you got to invest in gold. You got to invest in gold, or you're gonna. I mean, I really, that to me means he loses a ton fucking credibility, because all he's really doing is trying to generate an audience so that he can sell him stuff, so that he can enrich his own life,
And we saw, like he was having Trump on, man. It's like, pretty obvious what's going on here,
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Trump was like a regular guest on his show for the last 20 years or whatever.
And a different sort of listener showed up around that time. A bunch of Trump supporters that want to believe in the nonsense, and that they're going to build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. That was the most asinine thing I've ever heard. But making some other country pay for it. So
again, that goes back to the thing. That goes back to the thing about wanting to be part of something. People, they want to be. That's this whole MAGA thing, man. They really, they're part of that club now. I'm one of those guys. I mean, and I don't see Trump not getting reelected. And that's because, again, the Democrats are going to do some kind of elitist bullshit to put their the candidate they choose to be in front.
Here's a little spin on that, because I honestly have no clue how it's going to end up in a couple of years. So think about this. Did you ever think that prior to the WikiLeaks dump in March of 2016, and when Hillary started falling over and coughing her head off, and Donald Trump sort of toned everything down, had that like deer in the headlights look.
Yeah.
Prior to that, did you think there was any chance that he was going to win? I didn't. I thought for sure they were going to put the witch. I thought for sure that the witch was going to win, that she was in.
Yeah.
But then she got too dirty. They had all that stuff about the emails. And, Uma's computer. And,
she lost.
Out
she lost all of Bernie Sanders' supporter too, by fucking Bernie Sanders. you know.
But I don't think, honestly, I don't think that when it came down to it, I don't think most of, I guess, hold on, part of Bernie Sanders just straight up voted Hillary. Some of them might have voted Jill Stein. Some might have wrote his name in. But I don't think, although it was shitty, everything about that was shitty.
Yeah.
I don't know that really affected the selection. I mean, they were drinking CNN. Wolf Blitzer and CNN, they were drinking champagne, partying down. And even those insiders had no clue. I believe it was a last minute thing that they've chosen two puppets either way.
Yeah.
And it didn't really change anything. Record amount of spending, wars have increased. They're talking about gun control. He's talking about due process later, and people are thinking that he's like a conservative. He's spending more money than his budget that he just took as a record budget.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see any conservatives in the government at all. I don't see that anywhere.
They're pretty liberal with their war.
And they're liberal with everything except for like the caring about people that are hungry and the infrastructure, and I mean the basic needs of the people they could give a fuck about.
Yeah.
So anyways,
so you think that he's going to be our next president then?
I honestly believe that the only chance that the Democrats have is to run Tulsi Gabbard. I don't think they're going to run Tulsi Gabbard. I think that all the people that voted for Trump in the last election are not all of them are going to show up again, but the majority of them are. And I think that I don't think that all the Bernie supporters are going to show up that were in the last election are going to show up this time. So
you know what? I don't think that they actually count the vote or can count the vote with all of the different ways that they collect ballots. I mean, out here we're doing paper ballots that are trucked 45 miles away.
Right.
Registrar of Voters office where a bunch of people count them. And somehow they this was a couple months ago. I heard that they had just finished counting all the ballots from the midterm, or not the midterm, the primary where Bernie ran, and they made. I voted for him in the primary just because I want to shake stuff up.
Yeah.
I don't want to have two parties.
Right before the fucking primary, too, the AP called fucking Hillary the fucking nominee right before the California primary, which was a load of bullshit.
Right, on Monday, they said that she was the winner, and we voted on Tuesday.
Yeah, that was a fucking load of crap.
But get this, just within the last year, I don't know, time's flying by the older I get. So within probably the last year, a very little small blurb came out. I might have seen it in the local paper, or where I might have heard it on Mox News, to be honest with you, where they said they had just finished counting all the ballots, or they were getting close to it, and it looks like Bernie might have won. So what I'm saying, if that vote is still kind of up in the air, I don't believe that they count all the votes.
Yeah.
They select a president. If we could have the greatest candidate that the people love, first of all, they wouldn't get but 2 seconds. They'd never get called on in a debate.
Yeah.
And they'd find some way to keep them out of primaries and political action committees. And there's no way that they're going to let us vote to change stuff.
Yeah.
They got their program and what they need to do, where their money goes, this military industrial complex. So there's no way they're going to let us go vote. Like, I don't know if it's a misquote of Twain, but there's something like, if voting made any damn difference, they wouldn't let you do it.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't believe that all those Trump supporters that those votes are real. I don't think that they counted all the votes. They just tell us that they do, and we all believe it.
Yeah.
And I don't believe shit that they tell me. Why would I believe this?
Yeah, no,
they lie to us all the time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's I don't think that George Bush won either fucking election.
No, he did.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't. Even when they got done counting it, he didn't win.
Yeah.
But did they count all those mail-in ballots? How many of those the hanging chads, right? So that's just theater, man.
Yeah. No,
all the world's a stage.
Yeah, the voting thing is really messed up, and I don't know why. It doesn't seem that complicated. Like they could really do it in a way that had the confidence of the people and actually made the people want to vote again. But they don't even begin to try and make that happen. It doesn't seem like
They just keep the two sides divided with the false hope that if you vote in 4 years, everything's going to be better. It's going to get turned around and things are going to change.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And that how long has that not happened? Well, nothing's changed since the Carter Doctrine.
It seems like nothing's really changed since Reagan. Yeah.
Well, so when Carter leaves office, he signed the Carter Doctrine, which is the legal justification for all of our actions, pretty much in the Middle East.
Huh.
Anywhere near the Straits of Hormuz.
Oh.
So the Carter Doctrine said that if there's ever a risk of the Straits shutting down, that we take military action. So that's how they've been able to not declare wars and have troops over there in the Persian Gulf forever.
It's just out of control, man. I don't know how to get it back into control, or that it can be getting back into control. But I know that we have to and I don't know that we have to keep the faith. It's like, after Barack Obama, it's like I fucking hate hope. You know what I mean? I fucking hate hope, but it's like because you can't get rid of it. You know what I mean? It's like it seemed like Barack Obama gathered up all the hate and all the hope in the world, right? He gathered it all together, and then he fucking took and chopped it all up with a big old fat razor, and then fucking ground it up, and then fucking did a big old straw and did a big old line of it in front of us and said, "That's all the hope that's left in the world." But it's still there. You know what I mean? It's like, when you hear me talk about Tulsi Gabbard, it's like I still have the hope. I can't get rid of the fucking hope. So maybe that's what it is. They prey on that thing that we can't get rid of, that one last disease in Pandora's box,
maybe that I could be wrong about all this, and you're sort of right about the hope, although it wasn't necessarily hope. It was a real good eye opener to me, because I sort of fell for all the wonderful things that I'm 100% for ending foreign wars, for transparency in government, and closing this gizmo that was just creating more problems.
I totally hear you, man.
And so it's embarrassing to admit, but the only time in my life I've ever voted for a mainstream candidate was in 2008, because I was basically voting against John McStain.
Yeah.
He was
he's horrible.
He's a piece of shit. Let's not say that. So he's dead now. So rest in peace, piece of shit. So
no, burn in hell, a piece of shit.
Right. Okay. There you go. That's even better. So,
yeah.
But I'm sure I saw a lot of this on Fox News. With him over there meeting with these people that he are ISIS members.
Yeah.
Or it was
Al-Aqsa. In Syria, you're talking about, right?
Yeah. So,
it comes back to this whole thing where we're supposed to trust these people and we're supposed to believe in, and it's not just that we're supposed to, it's that we want to. We want people that we can believe in. We want cops that we can look at and think that they're heroes. We
don't need cops, man. We don't need cops.
No, I agree. But I mean, if we got to have them, we want ones we can look at and think, hey, that's a person who protects and serves the community, as opposed to, somebody we need to fear and okay, there's a cop over there. Don't look at him. Don't look at him.
Harass and collect, man.
Yeah.
They see us. They should treat people with respect, and they should do. If they did their job and they followed their oath, and they were people that we could say, firemen are heroes. Cops are not heroes.
Yeah.
So, but if they acted like heroes, man, I could get behind that. I'd be a huge supporter of law enforcement if they looked out for other people's rights, and if they tried to help them in situations when their rights were being violated.
That's right. If they're there to protect our rights, then that's the people that we need desperately.
Instead, their revenues. man. All
Yeah.
they do is they go out and they generate revenue.
I agree.
And then they talk about how much every year that there's a local election, there's some sort of fund for more money for the police department, and they're getting stuff given to them by the federal government. They're all, they look like they're kicking down doors in Fallujah, dude.
Yeah, exactly. I keep saying, if we ended the drug war, we would end 80-90% of all crime. Okay, and it's not just because we'd end the drug sales, but because there's all this little petty crime that's attached to the drug stuff, to the black market, and if we ended that, and that is the last thing cops want, is to end 90% of crime in their community, because that would mean they would have no money for funding. There'd be all these cops fired. You'd have all these seriously steroided out, alcoholic, pill popping, heavily armed, angry motherfuckers walking the street who can't find a job. And I guess nobody wants that, but I think that would, it's like you're saying, we don't need cops. If there was somebody doing something and the community would go, hey, we need to find this fucker, and they'd find him and they'd lynch him at the fucking edge of town from the highest tree, so that the next motherfucker who walked in and said, hey, I'm going to go take advantage of this town, you go, I don't think so. That's what happened to the last motherfucker who tried that.
Yep. Now, so although to me that's ideal.
Yeah.
The next best thing is following our own constitution, which limits government to settling disputes. So a court system, because really it's not two gentlemen to have to go at blows or even pistols. So it might be nice to have someone to mediate this dispute against gentlemen, okay, or gentle people, for those out there that have to get worried about that.
Right, you don't want your neighbors in some kind of firefight, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. To be civilized, I can see that that's legitimate government, and then providing for the protection of our coast. I don't have although it should be your right. I don't have a ship with cannon, but it should be your right, and I think it is. So that's legitimate government for them to do that, and then Congress pointing money, so we don't have to trade widgets or weed or for everything. It'd be nice to have something that we could trade and that we agree to have some value.
Hash coins. Hash coins. Hash coins.
Yeah, totally.
You watch the Trailer Park Boys? You watch the Trailer Park Boys? No. You should look them up. They're hilarious.
I've seen it a couple of times. I'm sort of familiar with the funny looking dude.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I don't know enough about it besides that.
Yeah.
I live in a trailer park, by the way.
Gotta live somewhere, man.
That's right. I've monopolized way too much of your show, dude. I apologize.
It's really good to hear from you, Wilco. I don't get a chance to talk to you enough, so it's always nice to hear from you. And
hey, before I go, a couple things. Yeah, I had my headset on 2 shows ago and was about ready to call, and you were like, hope this war's going to be someday. I was like, So here's the other thing. I would my vote is to have those show a little bit later for those on the West Coast. So
what time then are you thinking? What time?
7 Pacific, I think, is good, because then it's people on the East Coast can still catch it, and before they go to bed.
All right. Well, I'll think about later then. I'll think more like 6. I'll think more like 6 Pacific.
That'd be easier.
Yeah.
Even though 4:20 is a good idea, a lot of times people are on their way home.
Right.
They have to stop at the store. So
yeah, no, I totally get that. How often do you think I should do a live show? Like take phone calls and stuff.
And I think as often as you feel able to do it. If
All
you
right.
want to do it, if you dig it, great.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't.
I just like to get
nobody calling. But
yeah, no, I like to get like a regular schedule where I can everybody can count on those days doing it. So I'm trying to figure that out.
Great.
But
Great, man.
it's really good to hear from you, Wilco.
Nice to talk to you too, Mike.
All right.
Thanks for doing this, man, and happy birthday coming up here on the 19th. Everybody buy me pizza, man.
Yeah. Thanks, Wilco. All right.
Good night.
You too. And that guy's the greatest. I mean, if you guys want, it's my birthday on March 19th. and we are well within the birthday zone right now. So if you want to buy me a pizza, there's clickable links underneath this video, or you can go to moxnews.com, and it's easy to leave a contribution there. Mox News survives solely on tips and donations from good people like yourself. I don't monetize any videos. I don't take those 15 seconds out of your life every video, 15 seconds, 15 seconds. And if I did, after 15 years of service here on YouTube, serving over 65,000 videos for 700 plus million views, that would have been years of life that I had scooped out of the community. Years, literally years, taking that 15 seconds of commercial time. That would have been years I would have taken away from this community just in advertising, so I could have made a shiny penny. I never have done that to you. Hello, caller.
Hey, how's it going, man?
It is going good. How is it going with you?
It's pretty good, man. We got a little bit of a blizzard going on out here in Aurora, Colorado. So yeah, we're just kind of hanging out in the house. Thought I'd give you a call.
Aurora, that's like close to Denver, right?
Yep.
You guys are, what's your name?
My name's Vinny.
Vinny, nice to hear from you, Vinny. Thanks for calling. You guys are getting ready to legalize magic mushrooms over there, huh?
Who knows what the fuck they're doing, you know? But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. But yeah,
no, that's fine.
I wouldn't doubt it.
No, you can say.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Then Denver City Council is getting ready to vote on whether or not to legalize psilocybin mushrooms. So.
All that, in my opinion, all that legalization stuff, it hinges on this liberal agenda of destroying the family and the moral structure of our society. I honestly don't agree with the war on drugs, but I don't think the answer to it is just to legalize them. I think people need to look at these corporations that produce these synthetic pharmaceutical drugs that kill more people than anything. I mean, the Sackler family makes billions of dollars, and people are, you know, thousands of people dead every year, tens of thousands, man. I've lost friends, and I've had family members ruin their lives over that crap.
But it doesn't obviously do any good for it to be illegal, other than to criminalize the individual, right?
Most definitely, and I think there should be separate punishment for people with drug offenses and people with, you know, actual crime. I mean, I think it criminalizes these drug offenders, and it makes them, turns them into criminals themselves, you know, and it's a revolving door of private prison profiteers. Bullshit.
The problem with the drug war, and the reason you have to legalize or decriminalize all drugs, is because if they are illegal, you create a market for them. You actually you actually create people who will go and sell those drugs because it's illegal to do that. So it makes them hard to get, and there's people who want it. You know, you just legalize it. It's like I said the other day, you legalize all drugs, and then you have the party supply store, and you go to the party supply store, and you got everything to choose from. You know, everybody's gonna be like, I want some hash, I want some LSD, I want mushrooms, and then there's gonna be this guy who says, hey, I want some fentanyl, and everybody's gonna turn and look at that guy like, nobody wants fentanyl. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
You know, I mean, because it's not realistic, but when you have an illegal market, then you have these people who don't really care about whether they're selling it to a 12-year-old or a 21-year-old, and they don't care if they're selling you good shit or not. They just care about getting your money, getting you addicted, so they can keep getting your money. So
definitely, I mean, and it's these lobby groups that are entrenched in our system, whether it's the Israeli lobby or whether it's the pharmaceutical lobby. You know, they dictate our policies and our decision making. And the real reason I wanted to call is about this S.1 bill. I know you've been covering it. I actually have a channel on YouTube, and I got out for a couple hours, and I went down to the Capitol and passed out flyers to educate people, because people don't know about this stuff, and we need to call our senators, and we need to spread awareness about
about this anti-free speech bill that's being passed, and there's already been 3 HR resolutions that were passed last year under Trump. It's getting crazy, man. It's it's going to be Soviet Russia over here soon, where we can't even question the tribe.
Yeah, no, not big. That's again, that's what I immediately said when they took Alex Jones off all the social media. Was I said this is all about Israel. They're just coming after anybody who wants to speak out against Israel. Not that was Alex Jones' primary thing, but what they're doing is they're legitimizing, saying, oh, that speech is not acceptable. That's hate.
They sign on to the Foreign Agent Authorization Act. And until they sign a nuclear non-proliferation treaty, I think we should cut funding, and I don't think there should be a question about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 110%. And plus we need that money here. Besides anything, Israel has a top 10, has like one of the 10th strongest economy in the world. They don't need our money.
Right.
Yeah, they just use it to control our politicians, and that's absolutely, unacceptable.
Well, yeah, and you see all these backdoor deals with Russia and China, the Belt and Road Initiative, and you see the BRICS banking going on, and we're left out of all of that. And there's pretty much a media blackout on it.
Right. Nobody talks about the Belt and Road stuff at all. I agree.
And then a lot of these alternative truth channels, they're cucking out to Russia and Putin, and it's like I don't know. It's totally asinine in my opinion, because anybody that has done any length of research into the Bolshevik Revolution, the oligarchs never left power. They're still controlling it, and Israel is just an extension of Russia. So
I keep hearing that. I don't see the connection exactly to Russia.
Well,
but
all the Duganist, Eurasian depolarization, you can see that U.S. hegemony and on the world stage has been depleted by these Zionist war hawks, man.
Yeah.
They've totally, all of our sticking our nose in all of these interventionist policies, man. It's only served the Oded Greater Israel Project and the Kalergi plan of mass immigration to European countries, so that they can have their Moshiach bullshit, messianic movement, man. You people can laugh it off and say it's just some fairy tale, but they're genetically modifying cows. And then you see a couple of days ago, there's a false flag at the Temple Mount. So, they're moving along with the plan, whether we want to see it or not.
Yeah, no, I agree. The plan is definitely moving along, and they're not going to stop for anything. But I think also that people are becoming more and more aware. Even though there seems to be kind of a stall in it, but I think that's because of change in power and everything.
Right. Well, then they roll out Ilhan Omar, and I agree with what she's saying, but at the same time, I feel like they put a minority out there so that it can turn into a left-right, false dichotomy. When that Americans need to be speaking out against this stuff. 435 members of Congress gave over 50 standing ovations when Netanyahu barged his way into Congress and basically told us how it's going to be.
Yeah. No, I agree. This is I think it's right to question these people about their undying, endless loyalty to Israel, especially when they're doing stuff like saying that we can't vote with our dollars not to support Israeli businesses.
Right.
That who the fuck are they they're supposed to be defending our right to be able to do actions like that. They're not saying, oh, you can't boycott the government of America. They're saying, how does that make any sense at all?
Right. It's basically thought crimes are making their way into America, and that's the end of free society in America. Everybody's looking at us to take a stand, and we're just sitting by while this shit's happening. I'm getting off my ass. I'm making flyers. I'm getting out and talking to people, and I just urge everybody listening to take a stand, man. Because you put out great content. So many other people do, and that's great. But at some point, it becomes infotainment. and we got to get out of our echo chambers, get out of our.
You can't just watch videos. That's for sure. You have to go out and you have to. I mean, you know, I go out to the protests. I love going to protests where, you know, there's everybody's out there for. It's like when we used to do the hemp fest, right? We used to go out to the hemp fest, and now that it's illegal, I mean, now that it's legal, it's like it doesn't make sense. It's not the same thing anymore, because it used to be like fight for this freedom, and now it's legal, right. So it's like, well, no reason to go there anymore. But
on to the next battle.
Yeah. So I agree. Right. People need to be in the streets. Occupy was amazing, and that's what people need to do. They need to get beyond the politics. This is what I keep saying: is the politics is all a lie. The left-right bullshit's all a lie. They just use that to separate us into little groups where they can keep control over us and continue to bombard us with, you know, this Operation Mockingbird psychological operation, you know, to just contrive and the, divide and conquer the public.
And the small hats, you know, the Israeli lobby group, they love racialized opposition. They want to racialize all their opposition. So if we can break out of that dichotomy, and just fight them as Americans, then we can win. But they don't want that. They want these sheep-dipped feds, you know, former military people that just woke up a year ago that were, you know, on the Trump train, you know, to come out and to cuck for Spencer and to cuck for Ryan Dawson, these same expats and these same former military people that just seem to pop up and get hundreds of thousands of followers and are selling us this false hope, like, oh yeah, just trust in me and I'm going to save you, goy. When we know that there's never been somebody that's taken everybody on their back that can go against this. This has to be a collective. In my opinion, this has to be a collective fight. You know, we all have to play our part, and we all can be a Patrick Little or David Duke. We don't have to rely on these people that have done nothing except give us information, which is great. But at some point, it's just information.
Yeah, no, you're right, man. You're right. You have to, and you can't just take the information. Is if you don't do something with it, it's just another bit of stuff in your head, you know. Right. And as far as, like, you know, it can't just be one person that's going to change everything. I agree. And that's the reason I'm talking about moving beyond this politics of division and stuff. And that's the reason I keep coming back to Obama, was because when Obama was originally elected, the first election, he had the support of the whole fucking world. And he actually could have changed things. And he just chose to fall into line and do, you know, exactly what his predecessor did, and not
Goldman Sachs, and Monsanto lackeys,
instead of taking that support, that worldwide support, where he could have said, I want to make this happen in the world, and I want to end war, and I want to do this. He didn't do any of that shit, you know. He just same old fucking. Right. He could have saved so many fucking people just by legalizing marijuana, you know. One little signature, and it would have made such a huge difference for so many people in his own community, you know. So many people, so many poor people who have the police fucking finger banging their daughter because they smell marijuana, you know.
But I mean, I think the biggest thing that people miss with these politicians, these liars that sell us this false hope every 4 years, is that, you know, the Weimarization of America has already happened. You know, like, this sexual revolution has already infiltrated our political system, our governmental system, our educational system. I mean, you know, it came over here from Weimar, Germany, and all these people like Wilhelm Reich and Alfred Kinsey, they pushed all this ideology. So all these elitists at these colleges and stuff, they're all in line with this pedophilic, you know, moral relativism. And it's an uphill battle for sure, man, in my opinion.
You know, sexuality is something that's really difficult to fucking figure out. I mean, people, you know, I don't think that morality has much place in sexuality. I think that people, you know, they have to, like, look.
I urge everybody to go watch the Kinsey syndrome.
Yeah,
I mean, it breaks down how there was a pre and a post Kinsey era, and how what was his name? Hugh Hefner wrote his thesis on Kinsey and said he was going to be his pamphleteer, and they included a pedophilic cartoon in every issue of Playboy, starting from its inception, and then Penthouse followed suit with Chester the Molester. And that guy actually served time for raping his own daughter. So, yeah, this stuff is entrenched, and yeah, it's way looked over, man.
Penthouse, Chester the Molester was Hustler magazine.
Or Hustler, my bad.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. Yeah, it's Hustler. But regardless, the guy served time for rape of his daughter, and he used the cartoon as leverage to manipulate her. So, I mean, yeah, these people are the people that dictate the social engineering, man, and everybody's so desensitized and demoralized. I really do think that morality has a place in sexuality because it's part of the family structure, the Christian ethic.
Well,
I mean, you don't have to be a Christian to understand that there's natural law, and that these Sabbatean Frankist Talmudists, they are opposed to that, and they use every source of manipulation they can. The New Age movement, the Masonic movement, the Black Boule Society, all these fraternal orders have been infiltrated by these liberal Satanists, man.
Huh. Well, I don't know.
Really look into Jacob Frank and Sabbatai Sebi.
What was the name?
Jewish Messianic movement.
What was the name of the video that you said everybody needs to watch? Kinsey, Beyond Kinsey?
The Kinsey syndrome.
Kinsey syndrome.
It's 2 hours long.
Okay.
But yeah, Judith Reisman, she worked for the government. She exposed all this stuff because a lot of his literature about where he got his sexualization of children philosophy came from him paying people to molest and rape their own children with stopwatches. So, well,
I believe you. I believe you. I've seen a lot of stuff that's really weird like that. That's where it's in the name of science, and it seems like that's not exactly scientific, So
yeah, he went around the country and he loosened the laws for pedophiles. Loosened pedophile laws. So, yeah.
Well, what was your name again?
My name's Vinny, man.
Vinny. Yeah, it's good to hear from you, Vinny.
I do videos. I do videos. I have a channel called Peaceful Pogrom, POGROM, Peaceful Pogrom.
Right on.
I've had a couple channels censored, but I run with a lot of the GDL people, Goyim Defense League.
Cool.
And we're just people trying to spread awareness about Jewish supremacy and crimes against humanity and their infiltration of our government, because it's something that is very rarely talked about, and people like James Traficant and Cynthia McPhee, they get railroaded and marginalized out of politics for a reason.
Yeah, I agree, because they're too outspoken.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't sign that loyalty pact, you don't get funding. People don't vote for it with you on any kind of bill or any kind of stance that you want to take. So
yeah. Well, I agree, Vinny. I'm glad you called. It's an important discussion to have, and today's a big day. So thanks a bunch, Vinny.
I appreciate your time, man. God bless.
All right,
take care, man.
You too. So again, this is the thing: is that you guys are smart. This is what I always say about the people here, right? Is that the people here are smart. The people on Mark's News, you guys are intelligent people. You didn't come here because there's some girl with big boobs jumping rope. You came here seeking knowledge. Hello, caller.
Hello, Michael. How are you?
I am okay. How are you?
Real good. I changed my name. My name used to be Chicken Bone Gino.
Oh, hey. What did you change your name to?
It's Smoking Goat now.
Smoking Goat. Okay, well, I'll be sure to keep my eyes open for you, because it's always good. It's always good to see you in the comments.
Yeah. I wanted to comment. I wanted to just give you a short little synopsis, and then I wanted to comment on that last caller. He was very well informed. He's very woke. He goes deep, and I immediately did a search for him on YouTube. I entered in Peaceful Pogrom.
Yeah.
A pogrom is a sort of a violent uprising, different from program. But he's buried. He's shadow banned.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go dig deep for him.
Yeah.
Now, I was born in 1959, and I've seen a lot over these years. I've been a liberal for so long. I followed you since you were C-SPAN junkie.
Yeah.
And I went to Bernie rallies.
Yeah.
And the DNC, they fucked them over, everything. All that taken aside. I want to speak to the white people out there. Now, like I said, I used to be liberal.
Are you a white person?
I am a white person.
Okay. Go ahead.
And I've got pure European heritage, but that doesn't matter to me. I'm not against other races.
No, if you were, if you wanted to speak with the white people, then I want to know if you're a white person wanting to speak with white people or a black person or whatever. You know what I mean?
This could also translate to every race.
Okay, good.
Here's what seems to be going on, is that all the blacks seem to be unified in their vote, and all the Jewish people seem to be fairly unified in their vote. Even the Mexican people consistently vote 70-something% liberal, Democrat all the time. Only white people are the ones who divide themselves. And since they divide themselves, their votes cancel each other's out. So think about that for a little bit, white people out there. Now, my best friend, my closest brother to this very day is black. I have nothing against other races, but the farther and farther, especially listening to that last caller, the farther and farther I dig into this, life is not as civilized as we would like to think it is. You cannot override some basic factors, and these basic factors include almost first and foremost, besides your own family and community, race. And we have nothing but racial problems in America, racial problems just about everywhere, except for like Japan or Israel or Africa. There's problems, but there aren't racial problems. And there's so many different theories and reasons why there's difference. I don't really care. What seems to be first and foremost is that nobody is saying Japan shouldn't remain Japanese, and Africa shouldn't remain black, Mexico shouldn't remain Mexican, brown people, stuff like that. Only white countries do they want to multi-mix all the cultures and bring an influx. They say have a bunch of people. If you're black or brown, white people don't even have children anymore. It's racist. And like I said, that last caller seemed very aware of what's going on.
Yeah, I think so too.
I need to get this message to white people, and that is, think about it. You better start coming together and voting for people that have white people's interest in mind. We were the majority of this country. We were 90% of the population until 1965. And I've been a professional musician for the last 33 years, solely making my money off music. I'm not a star. I don't have a hit record. I've got a great band,
Yeah.
And I've crossed these cultural divides many times. My last two drummers were black. My last saxophone player was black. Okay, I live in Appalachia, America. And I grew up in like St. Louis. And there was times 40 years ago, I was walking down the streets of Hollywood. I was walking down the streets of East St. Louis, Illinois. I was walking, you can't do that nowadays. You've got gangs of people. You've got violent criminals, factions warring over territories and stuff. White people, you need to unite. You need to vote for people and support people and help incite people to run for office that support white people. There is nothing wrong with being a majority in your country and wanting to remain the majority of your country. It's crazy. Mike, I've been a liberal for so long, but in this last 12 years or so,
Yeah.
I find myself listening to David Duke and going back and pulling up old archives of George Lincoln Rockwell. They make complete sense. Now, some of it's a little antiquated. I smoke weed probably just as much, if not more than you. But
I don't smoke that much.
Different from cocaine and heroin.
I don't smoke that much weed.
I'll give you a breath. Go ahead.
I don't smoke that much weed. I eat a lot of weed. I don't smoke that much. Just a little bit.
Well, that's cool. I live in a place where we're still waiting for legalization.
Yeah.
But
sorry.
I just heard. I've been watching the chat, and Mike, you've got to I know you're aware of the Jewish question, all this stuff, but people need to understand, why are their stories not being covered? Why are their stories being buried? Why do they always say white man assaults black man or this or that? But when it's the reverse, it's just a man. It's all being engineered. All of Congress has to sign that pledge we support Israel no matter what.
Yeah.
And as soon as somebody, Ilhan Omar, as soon as she steps up and says any little criticism about Israel or the Congress is allegiance to it, they all of a sudden, all of them get together and want to pass a law, just like they did in Russia, Bolshevik Russia, where it's like last caller said, it's thought crime.
Yeah.
Look, we don't want to kill Jews, but we don't want to run in our country. I don't want to. Go ahead.
It's not. I don't say anything about Jews, but it's this thing where the Israeli government has too much influence over our country. It's like you were saying, where the second this freshman congressperson who nobody ever heard of before says, "Hey, what's with all the dual citizenship in Congress?" that their hair goes on fire because they know that she's talking about Israel, and she knows, oh no, we can't question that, and it's like me thinks she does protest too much. It's like they're just a little bit too defensive about this. Like it can't not be some kind of corruption there because they're just way, way, way too defensive about it.
Yeah, like you said, they are marching forward. You can see it. They're not hiding it from us anymore. It's our way or the highway.
Yeah.
And if you get a bunch of people that are controlled, like I said, it's not, I agree with you. It's not Mr. Rosenberg that worked for 30 years for the furniture store in St. Louis and then retired. It's not, American people are not really represented by their government, and the actions of their government, put it that way.
Yeah.
We give Israel enough money for every man and child there to have $30,000. So we give every man, woman, and child in Israel $3,000 a year, which amounts to $10 million a day. And we need to stop all the immigration. We need to get the money out and end Citizens United, all this crazy stuff. But what you're dealing with is the two-headed snake.
Yeah. Exactly.
And until we get people who are strong enough and courageous enough, and the white people are waking up because we've had enough, of being denigrated and labeled racist at just any small remark,
everybody wants to label. That's, again, comes back to this labeling thing. It doesn't matter whether it's left or right or racist or anti-Semite. It's just something that they want to label you left or liberal or whatever, so they can say, oh, he's one of those, I can disregard him now. I can put him in that disregard folder.
Exactly.
That's it's just. And that's how they divide us. They put us into all these little tiny groups and make it so that every single person in their little tiny group is just disregarded because, they're one of those. Disregarded.
Well, if you want health care for everybody, and I feel that we are to the point in civilized societies that health care should be a staple of some sort, then you have to vote for open borders. And if you want
I hear what you're saying.
That's
that two-headed snake thing that you're talking about.
Right. Yeah, and if you want to vote for some conservative fiscal this or that or whatever, then you have to vote for endless war.
Yeah.
But you can see it when they all jump up immediately, like off a hot seat or something, and say, "Oh my God, we need to create a law and pass an amendment or saying that we stop crime." It's so obvious that it's almost like the bigger the lie, more people believe it. The more it's in your face, the less people see it. You know. But I think white people are starting to wake up, and they need to understand that their vote is being divided. Their vote is canceling out each other's. And that's why they don't care about white people anymore. If their job is done, now we're going after the brown people because we've already got the black people in the bag. You know, it's all about race. Nothing wrong with people and their races, and nothing wrong with white people being white in white countries that they have built. And until we get a strong leader that says this and speaks directly to the heart of every white European descendant that believes in what, look, there's nothing wrong with black people in society. There's nothing wrong with people who work hard and make something of themselves, you know, but we have to face the figures, the facts, and the reality for what it is. And that's, I thank you for giving me a platform. White people, please come together, stop voting against each other, find a good leader, incite them to run, back them, and regain your whiteness again. It's your race. We are less than 1/10 of the population. We are the minority, you know? So God bless you from one atheist to another, brother. I don't know if you're atheist. But,
I'm not atheist. I just don't believe in religion.
Yeah, I got you, you know. Yeah. So the lunch is on the way. And please, people, it only takes a minute, just $1 or $2. Every once so often will be better than nothing. You'll feel better. You won't feel guilty when you're like, this guy works his fucking ass off, okay? So that's about what I got to say, other than I wish you health and good weather.
I got good weather, so thanks a bunch, man.
All right. See you later, brother.
It's really good to hear from you. Thank you. And if you would like to give a contribution to Mox News, it's my birthday on March 19th, and it would be really nice if you could kick down for lunch or pizza or something like that. It's easy to leave a contribution, donation, a tip for me. I'm the only person at Mox News. I'm working day and night to try and give you guys content that is worthy of your time, eye-opening and interesting and thought-provoking and historic. These are little bits of history that I'm making sure that don't get lost in a massive garble of modern day, 24/7 news cycle that's there to just like twist your brain into mush. Anyways, and I think I do an okay job of it. And if you think I do too, I'd like to continue doing this for at least through the 2020 election. That will be my 5th presidential election here on YouTube, covering it in my own unique style, which obviously you guys are drawn to, if not actually appreciate. So, and it's easy to understand. I don't monetize any videos. I don't take 15 seconds away from your life at the beginning of every video. I never have, and I never will, which means Mox News survives solely on contributions from good people like yourself, like you. So if you'd like Mox News to be around for the 2020 election, which I really hope that the majority of you do, because that's why I'm doing this, because I think that you guys like this and want me to keep doing it. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be here. But I won't be here if I don't have your support. So it's easy to make a contribution. There's clickable links below this video, or you can go to moxnews.com. It should take just a minute to do that. Thanks very much for tuning in. We'll do a live call-in show again real soon, like tomorrow probably. And hopefully, I think it went okay today. Seemed to be a lot of people. So stay cool. Wednesday's this war is going to end. Today, we got a little bit closer with the Senate voting to stop supporting war in Yemen. So I wanted to share that moment with you, and I'm glad I did. Okay? Talk to you soon.